Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. And we are going to be answering the question, what is the best eating window for maximum weight loss? So today I have Heather Remick with us, and she has lost tons of weight doing intermittent fasting. So Heather, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about how you've lost so much weight doing intermittent fasting.
Yes, so I have struggled with weight since probably college, when I feel like my metabolism changed from the teenager, you can eat whatever you want kind of days. And one thing that I just turned to food for all kinds of things: happiness, sadness, anxiety. And I just really struggled with my weight. So when I started with intermittent fasting, I noticed that I started to lose weight, but I could eat the things I wanted. I had tried every fad diet out there was. I no carbs, only eating hard-boiled eggs, like all the crazy things that you see. And then I was like, there has to be a better way that you can eat. I look at these people and they eat whatever they want, but they're thin, they're not overweight, and they look healthy. And so I was able to start doing intermittent fasting, and I loved it because I was still able to eat what I wanted and I was losing weight. And so I have been able to lose a lot of weight, like 55 pounds I've lost doing intermittent fasting. And I feel better. I have more energy. You literally get to eat whatever my body craves. And it's really just been like eye-opening of how easy it was to do it. And I've been able to do it in phases, which has helped me keep it off. And it's really easy to keep off the weight, like without it creeping back up on you with intermittent fasting, because you're not depriving yourself. So it's just a really great way to be able to lose weight and be healthy. And that was the biggest thing for me, was I really needed to get healthy for my kids, for my family, and just make sure my health was much better.
So tell listeners about how you lost an incredible amount of weight doing just one meal a day.
Yeah. So I had done, over the past year and a half, I'd really chipped away, and I would lose some, and then I'd kind of plateau, and then I'd lose some more. And I had the last 10 pounds I needed to lose to kind of get within my proper weight window for my height. And I could not lose those 10 pounds. They were just those last frustrating 10 pounds. And so we were getting ready to go on the trip, and I kind of set a goal, and I said, okay, for the next 30 days, for 30 days, I'm just going to do one meal a day and see if that helps me get those 10 pounds off. And it actually was really easy to do. I ate within a two-hour window every day, and I had what I wanted. I would push to the afternoon/evening. So I'd eat late lunch, early dinner. I don't eat breakfast anyways. And I was able to lose those last 10 pounds in that 30-day period to get to my goal weight. And that was just, I needed to kind of get my body moving in a different metabolism in order to have that happen. And that was kind of the way to change my system, because I had been eating in 6-hour window, which is lunch, dinner. And my body just needed something different to kind of do that. And I believe doing that for 30 days really is what did it. And I was able to, I lost those last 10 pounds in 30 days by doing the one meal a day.
That's awesome. And then one thing that we've noticed is I just randomly remember talking to you about just putting a separate eating window. I was like, okay, let's try this for sustained weight loss and see how it works. So talk to them about that plan I had suggested and how well it worked for you.
Yeah. So once I lost the weight, then of course I want to sustain it. And you don't want to eat just one meal a day forever and ever and ever, obviously. And so what I do is, 5 days a week, I eat 2 meals a day. So I eat lunch and dinner. Like I said, I rarely eat breakfast. So 5 days a week, I eat within the 6-hour window. So I eat a lunch and a dinner. And then one day a week. So for me, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I eat lunch and I eat dinner. And then on Sunday, I eat 3 meals a day. So I eat breakfast, I eat lunch, and I eat dinner. And that's just a really fun day home with my family. I make breakfast on Sunday mornings, and we all kind of do that together. And then on Monday, so from Sunday night, I don't eat breakfast on Monday. I don't eat lunch on Monday. I don't eat again until dinner on Monday. So I do one 24-hour fast. So I do 5 days a week where I eat within a 6-hour window. one day a week where I eat 3 meals a day. So really it's like an 8-hour window. And then 1 meal a day, I do a 24-hour, like no eating window. And that has been because it's like your body, if it gets in the same, like if you just eat 6 hours a day, every single day, your body kind of gets in this rut and sometimes it'll grab onto some weight. This kind of keeps it like always thinking like it doesn't know what I'm going to do because I am able to change up my eating window and it just works perfectly in my schedule. So it's funny because the day that I eat 3 meals a day and then on Monday I don't eat again till dinner. Well, on Tuesday, I've like whooshed weight off. And it helps just keep that sustaining, but it also doesn't deprive me. So like I get to have a fun splurge on Sundays, and I eat 3 times a day and I eat breakfast and, whatever I want.
So when you weigh yourself, do you ever weigh yourself on Monday morning before you do that fast? Or do you ever weigh yourself on Tuesday morning? And do you feel like you maybe have lost a pound or have you been weighing yourself and seeing what's going on the scale?
So I prepare myself mentally because on Monday morning when I get on the scales, I'm going to be up because I just ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Sunday. But then I always love to weigh on Tuesday when I did the 24 hours. And I always, like just this past week, I had been up 2 pounds because I had ate, on Sunday I ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so I was up 2 pounds. And then when I weighed Tuesday morning, I was right back down where I was. So it literally just took it right out of me. And it's so easy to maintain. I kind of keep in that same window.
Hey guys, one of the things that will take your weight loss to the next level is coaching. You can either work one-on-one with me or one of our certified private coaches. If you'd like, you can schedule your free call. It's a 10-minute strategy call just to see if coaching is going to really take you to the next level. The other thing is listening to the audiobook. Listening to the audiobook and getting the video course that I've done, people are seeing dramatic results. If you just listen to the audiobook 30 minutes a day over and over and over again and get the video course, go to chantelrayway.com and check out the video course. You won't be sorry you did. That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing your story. I want you to also talk about one more thing, and that is this new technique that we're doing of just slowing down our eating and timing it and making sure that we're eating but taking a break. Talk about that.
So I'm a really fast eater. And I know Chantel is too. A lot of moms are really fast eaters or people that just go quickly. Like I feel like sitting down and eating and taking a long time is just wasting my time in the day. So I have found that like my husband's a very slow eater and it drives me crazy. So we'll literally sit down at the same time. In 5 minutes, I will have eaten everything on my plate. And I'm already putting dishes away and he's just sitting there and he's chewing and he's enjoying his food. And I'm like, can you please hurry up? Let's go do something else. And so what we've done is we've started kind of like timing ourselves and setting a timer and taking like mandatory breaks to try to train ourselves to take a longer time to eat. Because what happens is when you eat so quickly, your stomach doesn't have time to tell your brain it's full. So we get to when you eat very fast, you overeat most of the time because by the time your stomach has caught up with your brain, you are too full at that point. It's too late. And so if you eat in a slower pattern, you'll see yourself get full faster and you'll eat less food. Plus it's good for your digestion. So we're now like timing ourselves. So like last night at dinner, I literally sat across from my husband and every time he took a bite, I took a bite. And I sat there.
He's a really slow eater.
He's a very slow eater. And I actually felt so awkward because I was just like sitting there like, and I'm like, oh no, another bite. And so it was so interesting to see how long it took us to eat. And my kids are slow eaters. Like I just am super fast. And so today, like for lunch, we timed it. We literally said, okay, at this time, like we can't eat, like let's take a 5-minute break. Don't eat anything. Got up and moved around. And then it took us like literally over an hour to eat our lunch. But because it spread out, what I wasn't looking for in 15 minutes was chocolate, a snack, eating more things. And so I think it's really important to just, seeing this is how much slower you eat, how much less you're going to eat and just get exactly what your body needs. And I think it's important too, when you're doing the 2 meals a day, sometimes, like, especially because I work out in the morning, I'm ravished at lunchtime. And so some people, like Chantel, you love to eat lunch. Like, that's your favorite meal of the day. My favorite meal of the day is dinner, because that's when I'm home with my family. And so I think it's important to also have a meal and a snack, like having, like, I'll eat a smaller lunch so I can eat a bigger dinner if my whole family's eating, or if I know we're not eating something big for dinner, or my kids want something that I don't really want, I'll eat a bigger lunch and then a smaller dinner. So having 2 full-sized meals sometimes is too much, but having like a good sized meal and then a smaller meal is just much better for you.
And if you watch our video, if you watch the video course that I did, you'll hear from thin eaters that almost all say, I have one medium sized meal and then I have one small meal. It's like a tasting, it's either a smoothie, it's a small salad. They're not sitting down and having 2 big meals.
Right.
So I think that's such an aha moment when you hear it coming out. And this is what I always tell people is that, I'm coaching 2 ladies right now that are just having such great success. They're listening to every little thing that I'm telling them to do. And they are just listening to the audiobook, listening to the video course. Because here's the thing, you have to listen to it over and over and over. And you have to have accountability. You have to have people in your life that can kind of go to you and go, you're eating too fast.
Yes.
Can you take a break? Because it's not just eating slow. What changed me is helping me, and I still eat too fast, but I'm so much better than I was. I mean, people literally would say to me, they'd be like, Chantel, nobody's stealing the food from you. Like, I can get like crazy, crazy, crazy. And I have to take that break. Today I ate in an hour and I think 8 minutes or something like that, because I had a call to do. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take a full 30-minute break. And you don't need to do that all the time, but taking at least a 5-minute break, eating at least in 20 minutes. That's the key. It has to be 20 minutes because your body doesn't know you're full until then.
Yeah.
And then taking a 5-minute break in between is a game changer.
It is. And I noticed when I was doing my first, like when I was first doing intermittent fasting and I was really trying to get that first weight loss going, I did like the snack and then a meal is kind of what I did. And I would have, if you have something that has protein in it, it helps you, like, so whether or not it's a smoothie, like it's a protein shake or something, I would eat cottage cheese. I love cottage cheese. Cottage cheese has a lot of protein in it. And I would eat the cottage cheese and like something else really small with it. And then I would eat my dinner. And that cottage cheese filled me up, because the important thing is, like, 1 meal a day is great to do sometimes, but when you get to that 1 meal, sometimes you're so hungry you overeat. So if you do the little snack beforehand, so I'd have like cottage cheese and maybe some vegetables, or cottage cheese and something else. Even I'd do like a piece of turkey or something. By the time I got to dinner, I wasn't as hungry, so I didn't eat as much. And that was what really helped accelerate my weight loss. So it's just different tricks like that you do, that you're giving your body what it needs, and it's getting nourished and it's getting, food, but you're just not overeating. And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. And Heather is now a coach with us. So if you go to chantelrayway.com/coaching, or go to chantelraycoaching.com, you'll see you can always apply to be a coach and kind of teach other people. And, that's a great way to really get yourself. We have one coach that's about 20 pounds away from where she wants to be. And guess what? That's fine. You can still be a coach just because you're 10 to 20 pounds away from where your ultimate goal is. You can still be a coach. And so she is an amazing coach if you want her to coach you. But we're also, if you're looking for people to be on our podcast, normally I have people who are doctors and influencers on our show. But for the next 2 months, I feel like we're going to just change it up a little bit. We're going to zhuzh it up. And we're asking for people to share your intermittent fasting personal stories. So we're going to actually be featuring people just like Heather who have actual stories of how they lost weight through intermittent fasting, and hear inspirational stories from real life intermittent fasters. And you're going to hear what they ate, what's their eating window, what are their best tips for weight loss. So if you want to be on the show, go to chantelrayway.com, or just shoot us an email is even better, just to go to questions@chantelrayway.com and say, hey, I want to be on the show. We'd love, love, love to have you. Hey guys, I wanted to tell you I'm offering a free weight loss virtual Bible study. Now is the perfect time to focus on understanding true hunger and fullness and learn what the Bible has to say about it. All you have to do is go to chantelrayway.com/Bible study. After you sign up, you'll receive a 6-week Bible study video that you can watch on your own, or you can get a small group of people and do it together. That's chantelrayway.com/Bible study for your free 6-week Bible study course. We are talking again today about just some things, questions that people ask us. So I want to read this to you. This is hysterical, this first question. It's from Nikki. It says, hi, how are you, Chantel? I've not caught the Rona yet, so all is well. Have you heard people now? They're calling it the Rona?
Yes, I have. That is so funny.
It's so funny. But she said, fasting question. Some days I find I'm really feeling strong hunger pains in the morning, even though I had a big meal the night before, and I'm not at 14 hours of fasting yet. I drink water and hot tea and wait to eat later, but I'm finding that I'm hungry all day.
Mm-hmm.
The more I fast, the hungrier I tend to be. And honestly, it chips away at my resilience. So, well, I'll answer what I think too, but first I'd like to see what you'd say.
Yeah. Well, obviously when you're fasting, you're going to be hungry. It's just unfortunately part of the deal. But some days are worse than others, and I get it. And it can be really frustrating. There are times when I'm like, find myself searching for food because I'm like, oh my gosh, my stomach's growling, but it's not time for me to eat yet. And I am pretty strict to my eating windows when I am, I hold myself pretty accountable. But I would say one thing that it helps me a lot is when I am hungry, I can go on a walk, and that helps me so much. It will actually kind of bring I won't be as hungry anymore. It'll kind of get me over that hump until I can make it to my eating window. I've even gotten on my bike before and done a quick little exercise. And I notice when I get off, I have more energy, and it's just gotten me out of that slump. But I will not go to food. So that's the biggest thing is I think if you can get out and do something else, you've got to get your mind off of it. And I really feel like exercise helps. It gets your energy up again, and it gets your body kind of over that hump because it starts working again, and it's not looking for food because it's so hungry at that moment.
Yeah. So what about, have you ever experienced what she's saying? She's saying why if I ate a big dinner the night before, why am I hungry that next morning? Have you ever found that to happen of you're like, wait, I shouldn't really be hungry right now?
Sometimes I think that sometimes if I eat a lot, I'll notice my stomach doesn't growl. Sometimes it's more than a day later. But yeah, sometimes you'll think I ate a bunch last night, and I woke up this morning and I'm already ravenous. I'd be interested to know if she works out to see if that might have something to do with it, or depending on what her eating windows are, her body, if she's doing longer fast, even though she ate, if her body was was eating up all of the energy that that it needed to store, then she might be hungrier the next day, depending on how long her fast was prior to that. So if I've not eaten in a while and then I eat a big meal and my body's like, thank you, I needed that food, then I may be hungry earlier than if I had continually been eating. So if she's doing the longer fast periods, that might be why, because she ate what was stored and it's ready for the next round.
Yeah. And so I agree. It's either maybe she worked it out in the morning and she used up all that glucose. But another thing is that when you overeat, your blood glucose levels spike to very high levels. So this in turn signals your pancreas to release more insulin. So insulin has the function of making glucose available to your body. So if you've got too much insulin, that makes your blood glucose levels crash. So now as soon as they start crashing, right? Yep. Now it's signaling to your brain, I need more food. I need more food. It's just like if you ate a whole bunch of sugar and then maybe 20 minutes later, or an hour later or whatever, as soon as the blood glucose starts to crash and it starts feeling like, oh my gosh, that blood glucose level crashing is that signal to your brain that you need refueling. But that doesn't mean that your body's physically hungry. It just means that those blood glucose levels are going down. So you're more than likely not going to feel, you're not physically hungry, but it's
Right.
that glucose, those spikes, because she specifically said, I had a big meal the night before, and especially if it was too big of a meal. And that's why it's just super important to make sure that you're not eating, like if you read my book, you know that the level 4 is satisfied, and not eating past that level 4 so that your blood sugar levels can stay stable. Okay, now here's another one. It says, love the one about Hashimoto's, which I have. Great content. I've been getting lax about my fasting and I need to step it up. I have a vacation coming up at a cabin with a pool and want to get into my honeymoon bathing suit. Need to listen to your book again to get back on track. My biggest issue is saying no to dinner. My husband cooks, and even if I'm not hungry, I partake. I need to work on that. I also need to reduce my drinks. I've cut them out during the week for the past 2 weeks, and that helps. How are you? I'm so sick of the pandemic, though. Mm-hmm. Enough is enough. Mm-hmm. Amen to that. So she's kind of saying, like, my biggest issue is saying no to dinner when my husband cooks, even if I'm not hungry. Yeah. So how would you answer that?
So I would say that you can absolutely sit down with your husband and have dinner without eating. And dinner is really a social, it's the social part of it, is that it was what you're looking for. And you feel the obligation to have to eat while you're sitting there. And that's where people have a really big misconception, that they think that even though you may be fasting and you're invited to a dinner party, or you're invited to, like, especially at the holidays, people go to all these parties and they feel like they're obligated to eat. And you just have to be able to tell yourself that, you can absolutely eat what your husband made for lunch tomorrow. But you can still sit down and have conversation with him and talk and drink some water, have a cup of, like, a glass of unsweet tea. You don't have to eat because he's eating. Same if you go to parties, like, you don't have to eat just because there's food there. If you're not truly hungry, don't eat. Because when you're doing that, your body is now getting in this cycle that's really hard to break again. So, like she said in her question, she's gotten really lax on her fasting, and that's because it's just easier to eat than to say no. And Chantel, you do a really great job of this. I have seen her in, like,
remember Nobu? Remember Nobu? And yes. I fasted. Tell that story.
Oh my goodness. So we got invited. We went to dinner at Nobu, which is one of the nicest restaurants in the country. They're in all the major cities. And I mean, it's like the best food, and it's extremely expensive. And we were invited out to dinner to eat, and they could not believe that Chantel was not eating. They were like, Chantel, could we get you? She's like, I'll just have broth. I'll have some water. I don't even think I actually don't even know that you had broth while we were there.
Well, yeah, because I actually took one spoonful. I knew that I was deficient. So one of the things I do when I'm fasting is if I'm feeling some kind of way and I'm not feeling great, I don't have to have a whole cup of broth, right, but I will take a spoonful, 1 tablespoon of either pickle juice or 1 spoonful of broth. So I did order a broth, but I took 1 bite and then put it aside.
They could not believe it. They were like, you are like, this lady is crazy. But you were doing like a 21-day fast at this point. And she's like, she sat there and she had the best time, and she talked and she enjoyed, and she was like, oh, order this, that's good. And order that, that's delicious. Oh yeah, you should get that. That looks good. How's your food? And she talked, but never once did she break her fast. Did she just want to, Nobu is something you go to like once or twice in your lifetime for most people, if they go that many times to Nobu. And she was like, nope, it's not a big deal. And she stuck to her fast. And just having that willpower is really important. So, and it's just a matter of making the decision that if you're not hungry, don't eat. Just say, I really love that you made this, and I'm going to enjoy this for lunch tomorrow. I will take leftovers, like take your plate, put it away, take it tomorrow, say, thank you for making this for me, but I just want to sit here and enjoy your company. You don't have to eat because it's dinner time or someone's having a meal.
And the other thing is if like you do, like, I know I've heard you say that you do a really good job of this. Let's say we're at lunch and you might have a small something and someone will say, hey, do you want some more of that? And you'll literally say, no, I'm having a really nice dinner with my family tonight. So I'm going to pass on that. Now you might eat some. So what I think this person needs to do is say, okay, I'm going to have lunch. I can still have lunch, but I'm going to have just enough so that when it does come time for my husband tonight at dinner, I will be hungry to eat. So that's number one. But, we're always talking about finding true hunger. And if you're not physically hungry, but you're feeling drawn to eat whatever it is, it might be meaning like that you're hungry for something else. Like you're hungry for a hug, or you're hungry for love, or you're hungry for that relationship. And just like you said, talking with your husband while he's there doesn't mean you can't sit there and sit down with him. And people say, well, I don't want to sit down and eat if I'm not eating. Well, that's just a mindset thing. That's all in your mind. Like, I had so much fun at that Nobu dinner. I mean, I had a great time. And it was funny because I was asking God to kind of take away the urge for me to eat and just to get rid of any desire to eat. And I remember when we were sitting there, I prayed that because I knew it was going to be a tough dinner because it was a family style. Where it was like, pass this, pass that. And someone had ordered, I think it was some kind of fish. It was like salmon or something like that. Well, I don't like fish. I like tuna, but that's it. And I remember as soon as I prayed that God would take away that urge, somebody ordered the fish and put it like right next to me. And I could just smell like that waft of fish. And I was like, oh, disgusting. So I was like, yep, God came through again. He took away the desire. So that was really good.
Yeah. And that's, a lot of times, like you said, you enjoy lunch. And so you love having a good sized lunch, and then you have a very small dinner. And I love having a small lunch and a bigger dinner. And sometimes I don't eat lunch, but you'll eat, or sometimes I'll eat and you don't eat, but we still sit there and we have meetings, and we'll still have lunch meetings with people, and we won't be eating lunch. And they're like, you guys aren't ordering anything? We're like, nope. And we just sit there and they eat and we talk and we get our stuff
one
done.
Guy that we go out to lunch with a lot of times, he's so funny because he was like, now here's what I'm observing. The last time only Chantel ate. This time only Heather's eating. And then the third time, neither one of you were eating. He's like, it's very bizarre to go out to eat with you too.
He never knows if we're eating or not eating.
He's like, really I never know.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
But it's important. It's like we can still have a great time. We, have great friendship talks. We have great business talks, but we don't have to be eating, even though it's at a restaurant and lunch, So it's just important to pick your eating windows and stick to them. That's and just, right. If you're not hungry, don't eat.
All right. Well, this has been great. And if you guys have thought about coaching, I'm telling you, it will take you to the next level. Heather is an amazing coach. She's having lots of success with people that she's coaching. I highly suggest that you go to chantelrayway.com/coaching and ask for her to be one of your coaches. And if you've ever thought about being a coach, now's the time to do it. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye for now.